Okay, so volume 13 isn't even out in Japan yet, so I don't actually know which chapters it actually covers because it doesn't say. It apparently comes out in like 3 days in Japan as of filming this video, but it still doesn't have what chapters are included. So this section of the vlog is going to be from chapters 85 to 94. So that's most likely all of volume 13 and potentially the start of volume 14, depending on how many chapters they put in volume 13. So bear that in mind going forward. I'm going to be talking about up to chapter 94, the most recently released chapter of Spy Family, as of filming this video. So that being said, we have the conclusion to the whole like Winston storyline. Again, a really epic finale to that. Seeing Fiona be the one to take him down was incredible. And I love what she says about him. She says, "You're afraid to die, you're afraid of being betrayed, you're incapable of trusting anyone, you have no one to believe in, no one to gaze at and intently scrutinize, you've given up on the world, now you're just an empty man meddling in it for no reason greater than your own amusement. But I'm not afraid, I believe in that man. I think of him and think of him and think of him and think of him and think of him." And she takes him the fuck down. She is so epic in this volume. I honestly have to give all credit and all kudos to Fiona for that. Like, again, stay away from a man, but protect him by any means. Really close call with Yuri as well, because Lloyd, was it? Yeah, I think his right arm, got shot and like injured, and Yuri obviously was the one who was like fighting him and stuff. So like for a second there, it seemed like, oh, maybe he's clocked on. Maybe he's about to expose Lloyd as Twilight right now. But fortunately, Lloyd, again, thinks ahead. One of these days though, he's gonna slip up. One of these days. Oh my god, Lloyd in the shower. Lloyd in the shower. My spy ex-bussy could not control itself. Oh, there was like a really whole cute section of this volume where Damien is trying so hard to give Anya the cakes that he had, you know, promised her to pay her back. So the most elite cakes ever made, intended for this world's royalty. And he's trying so hard to give her them without anyone seeing, because obviously he has a reputation to uphold and stuff. So saying all of that was like really funny. Like, I love the little antics they got up to. Yuri is... I feel like I'm not the biggest fan of Yuri because, again, I just think he's like a little bit too obsessed with Yo, and I don't think he's got like his own personality that I kind of like. Like with Fiona, it was getting a little bit repetitive, but I really do see her a little bit differently now after like everything we've been through. But like with Yuri, I'm just like not really that bothered about him. You can smell her at that distance from inside a car. That's the creepiest thing I've ever heard. Like, I literally agree. Like, he's just like too much for me. I just don't think I like him. I'm so sorry if that's an unpopular opinion. I have no idea what people's opinions are on anyone. Now that I'm caught up on Spy Family, I need to like browse all the forums, see what people say online, because I need to know what other people think. Also, like, let me know down below what you think of like everyone and everything. I love it so much. It is pretty funny that every single attack move that Yuri has is named after Yo. So like, say for example in One Piece, we have like Luffy. Every time he does a move, he shouts out like gum gum, bazooka, or things like that. So I kind of find it funny that he has like your punch, your kick, and things like that. It's funny, it's funny. Oh, but actually the main thing that I love about Volume 13, and again like this might go beyond Volume 13, is when we meet this guy who is like this old guy in the park who seems lost and he can't remember his way home. And like Anya's like a little bit insensitive to begin with because like she just doesn't really understand the situation or anything. Like she's still a child, so like you can give her leniency there. But fortunately Yo is with her, and I love how they try so hard to find this guy's place. And like Yo is such a sweetheart, the fact that she does that. Like she goes out of her way to try and help him. Like I know so many people who would have just like not had the patience for it because he kept getting things wrong. Like he really can't remember the way home, and he would take them on like these wild goose chases. Like, but I mean Anya loves the adventure, so that's great. But like it was just so sweet to see all of that. But I loved what Yo said about like how Anya doesn't have this like grandfather role in her life. And again, like this is what like this whole found family thing feels like. We got the father, the daughter, the mother, the dog, and now like the grandparents, because I do feel like this guy, what was his name again? Sigmund and Barbara, his wife. Oh my god, like they are like the cute grandparents. I feel like that's the role that they're going to start playing now that they're like neighbors, like they live in the same building. And Yo, yeah, she says, my parents are gone and Lloyd's are too, so Anya's never experienced having a grandparent before. I guess I never have either, but you can't miss what you've never known, so I can't say I was ever sad about that, but I wonder if the same is true for Anya. So yeah, I feel like Barbara and Sigmund are going to be the grandparents to Anya. Like, oh my god, it's like one huge family. Like, seriously, like, I'm loving seeing this family, this found family just grow. Because, yeah, grandparents in this is like, oh my god, if anything happens to them though, oh my god, no, if anything happens to them, I'm going to be so sad. Especially since Sigmund's memory is rather shocking. I think this is still in volume 13 too, but we have this section where Yo and a lot of the City Hall girls are helping out with veterans, and there's like this whole thing happening. And there is a woman called Millie who is, you know, kind of resistant because she's like, at least those soldiers survived. And she's holding a lot of resentment because she is saying that her dad didn't get a chance to come home. So that we have this whole like section where Yo ends up defending Millie against these people who are quite mean and who are like exacting their power and authority over everyone, being like, oh, this is how you should act, respect these veterans, and obviously like, yeah, respect the veterans and stuff, but the way that they're being treated isn't like really quite fair. So Yo makes a point that everyone is different. Why are you convinced that Millie's the same as you? Obviously people have different physical capabilities, so what? So your point is that emotionally we're all the same, but that logic, there's no difference between those who are suffering and those who aren't. We're all just one big happy species. But Yo makes the point that everyone deals with this in their own different way, and like you've got to have some kind of compassion for other people to realize that they're going through the same thing but in a different way, kind of thing. I love that whole exploration of that. Even though they make a point of Yo not being posh enough to know Melinda. This is like the funniest thing ever when Yo comes home, and I'm going to say this all the time, but heartiest salutations, dearies. Should I start my videos every single time now? Because now Yo is getting posh. She's like trying to take these lessons on board and she's like posh, or like, she'll probably won't be posh for much longer, but like she says heartiest salutations, dearies. I love that, it's so funny. Again, I don't know if this is end of volume 13, start of volume 14, but we do have term finals coming up and Anya really needs to focus on it. And I know Anya has like the mind reading ability, but even she's like, it hasn't really done her very well so far. There are so many voices going on that it's hard for her to concentrate, and now she like really actually needs to apply herself if she wants to even try and pass. Oh, I don't know if I should show you this, but I'm going to show you anyway. Look at that, the dirty, dirty girl. Oh my god. It seems like she has a bit of a cold. Look, Papa, look, I just blew the longest string of snot in the history of the unicycle verse. Maybe I can earn a stellar star for being the Eden Academy Master of Snot. It's a snot anaconda. It's a snotaconda. Ugh, that's absolutely disgusting. So Sigmund ends up helping Anya with her tests and stuff. Like, they start to, you know, practice together and he's trying to help her study. And obviously that hasn't gone so well in the past with like Lloyd and Yuri. I mean, it helps a little bit, but it doesn't really stick with Anya. But you know, the relationship and dynamic between Anya and Sigmund, grandfather and grandchild, I mean, we're assuming that he's taking the grandfather role, essentially. Like, even if it's like not really outwardly stated or anything or official, that's the vibe I'm getting from this interaction. But yeah, he's like really helping her, and like, look how proud even he looks of her. And they've only known each other a few chapters really, but look, oh my god, I'm so happy. Children like you are the nation's greatest treasures. Grow up healthy and strong. I'm loving so many themes of Spy Family. One of them being like how children are our future and like giving them the best and like, you know, caring for them and nurturing them and making sure they become the best that they can be, but also like showing them love and kindness. Oh god, it's just so beautiful. And Anya, she gives herself like a little disguise as well, because she says that she wants to look like she overcame rigorous training, but she used permanent marker so it won't come off. So she ends up going to school with it on, and even like the elegant guy, he's like, what in the world? Like, I'm so funny. And she's gone up in the rankings too, so she's 168th when she used to be 213th, so she's gone up. But she also came second, like second highest for classical languages, which means that she gets a stellar star, but then she does also get a Tinnitus Bold for only getting 24 points on maths. So she gets a stellar star and she gets a Tinnitus Bold. I still don't know how to pronounce that. So, you know, like, she's made so much progress and, you know, she hasn't changed completely. And it's still, you know, up in the air. Like, it's still neck and neck, because the amount of stars to become a scholar is the same as getting expelled. So I think she needs like 5 more stars to become a scholar and 5 more bolds to get expelled. So it's like neck and neck right now. It's neck and neck. And also Lloyd is asking Anya about like her past and stuff, and Anya's like, I don't really remember, because she is very good at like the classical language thing. So even Lloyd's a little bit like, where's this come from? Why is she really good at it? You know, so I find that interesting. We meet Demetrius, who is Damien's older brother, and that was quite interesting also. I wonder if he might become a new recurring character. Maybe there might be some kind of brotherly bond that forms. It doesn't look like they have a good relationship right now, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And then the final chapter that I read was chapter 94. It kind of feels like a little bit of a standalone chapter. It was a very exciting chapter, though it had the Lloyd family getting, like, well, they go to a mountain, they go skiing because Anya wants to, and they end up coming across a blizzard and they get snowed into, like, this cabin where other people are staying, but there is a killer among them. One of the mentions about the red snowman, this guy here, they say that during blizzards a monster emerges and murders the townsfolk one by one. They call him the red snowman because he's covered with blood splatter from his victims. And then obviously that was like a little scary story. I was like, ooh, that's kind of exciting. Like, okay, I wonder if something happens there. And then somebody does turn out to get a frozen carrot stabbed in their back, and I was like, oh my god, like, is this like the red snowman arc or something? Because that's so exciting. Because yeah, he was stabbed in the back with a frozen carrot. It does turn out, you know, be fine. Like, he's not dead. Lloyd obviously is like the man of the hour because he's just the perfect guy, and he concludes that the would-be killer is one of them. It has to be one of them. Like, look at Yor as well. Like, even she's in there. And she's like, I probably didn't do it. Like, you're fine. You didn't do it. But, like, someone in the cabin has done it. Or at least tried to kill someone. So that was so exciting. I was like, oh my god, a little murder mystery on our hands. Obviously, like, we would find out pretty much straight away who did it. Because, you know, Anya's telepathy. And it turns out to be the one that they least expect. The nice old man. Good luck with that. No one so much as suspects it was me. But obviously Anya can't like tell her dad that he is the killer. But then Anya does like say, oh, we need to be here at this time. So Lloyd does end up capturing him, turns him into the police, and case solved. Lloyd saved the day. That was amazing. But that was only like just one chapter. I do wish that had been a little bit longer. Maybe a couple of chapters of like having a murder mystery. Maybe we could have ended the chapter with Anya finding out who the bad guy is and then trying to figure out ways to prove it. And then going into the next chapter where Lloyd finally finds out that he did it. But it was a nice little chapter. It felt like such a little one-shot. And if anything, I kind of now want a spin-off series where Anya, Lloyd, and Yo become like detectives and they have to solve crimes. A little bit like CSI, but maybe like CS Spy Family. Get it? CS Spy Family. But that was the final chapter that I'm caught up with. Apparently the next chapter comes out in like 3 days. So I'll have to read that. I won't be able to read it in time for this vlog. There's always going to be new chapters, so I'm looking forward to being a weekly reader of Spy Family, or however often the chapters come out. I'm just going to have to wait now. I can't just binge it. I'm so sad. But that was a fantastic experience. I absolutely loved reading and binging all of Spy Family in pretty much one go. It was so much fun, and I just found so many like great new favourite characters. I think this might be my 3rd favourite manga series of all time. Hello, Ash. You've just come in as I'm wrapping up. I think One Piece is still my favourite manga, then Berserk, and then Spy Family. Yeah, I think that's like the order it goes in right now. So it's currently my 3rd favourite manga of all time. But it does have some of my favourite characters of all time. And it's like the most adorable manga I've ever read. I love Found Family so much. And this is just giving me everything that I ever wanted.